Okay, now we are going to the next topic, that we have the acceleration. How to define the acceleration? Till now we have already covered the speed, velocity. Now the next topic is acceleration. Now simply you can say that the acceleration is the change in velocity. Acceleration is the rate change of velocity of a body with respect to time is acceleration. Acceleration, suppose a particle is changing its velocity with respect to time, so you can say that this is the acceleration. Suppose a particle having the initial velocity u, after some time interval t, the particle has the final velocity v, and to change this velocity the particle has the time taken, suppose t. So you can say that it is the ratio of change in velocity, that is delta u. So this is the v final minus v initial divided by total time. So how to write this is, now you can see here mathematically you can write that the acceleration is the change in velocity with respect to time. So mathematically you can write like that, velocity. Now move to the next point. If the velocity of a body changes from initial positions to the final positions v in time t, then the acceleration acceleration is represented by the a. So you can say that the acceleration of the particle a is v minus u divided by t. Here v is final velocity, whereas this is the final velocity of a particle, whereas u is the initial velocity. Okay, so this is the ratio of change in velocity with respect to time. If suppose at time t2 the velocity is v, at time t1 the velocity is u, so you can write here a is equal to v minus u divided by t2 minus t1, that is equal to t. Okay, so what is the SI unit of accelerations? The SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. How to write meter per second square? Now you can see here, because v is meter per second and u is also meter per second, so the subtraction of this is also a meter per second, and you are also dividing by the time. So you can write here meter per second divided by second is meter per second square. Okay, so move to the next point related to this, that we have the uniform acceleration. What is the next? Uniform. How you can define the uniform? Now you can see here, if the change in velocity is equal in equal interval. I have already discussed with you in the previous slide. The uniform, if the velocity is equal in equal time interval, in such a condition you can say that the such type of acceleration is uniform acceleration. Same like the uniform velocity. You can say this is the uniform acceleration. If the change in velocity is equal in equal time interval, you can say that the acceleration is uniform. Now we have the second thing, that is the non-uniform. If equal in time interval, the change in velocity is unequal, so you can say that such type of acceleration is non-uniform acceleration, because changing in velocity is unequal, whereas the time in each interval is same. So you can say that such type of acceleration is non-uniform acceleration. It is the change in velocity unequal in equal interval of time. I have already discussed with you. So this is the non-uniform acceleration. Now move to the next point, that is the graphical representation of motion. How to define the graphical representation of motion? Now you can see over here. So now you can see here, this is the first graph. This is the distance time graph. This one is the first relation that we are going to discuss with the help of graph, that is the distance time graph. How to draw, how to read, now we will discuss. Now first we are going to discuss how to draw the graph distance and time. If you want to draw the distance time graph, first of all you need to draw the distance on y-axis. Now you can see here, if the change in the positions of a body with time can be represented on the distance time graph. How to write? If change in the position of a body with respect to time can represented on the distance time graph. What you are going to write? You are going to write change in the positions of a body with respect to time. That is your distance time graph. Okay. So now you can see here in this graph, the distance is taken on the y-axis. In this graph, you are going to take the time of distance on y-axis, whereas time is in x-axis. Okay. So you can see here, this is the distance time graph, the time distance graph of uniform speed. Now you can focus here, uniform speed. That means change in velocity is equal in equal time interval. If you want to draw the graph of uniform speed, that means you will get a straight line. If you want to draw the graph of uniform speed, which type of graph you will get? That is the straight line. That is linear. You can say the linear. Because why? Because the uniform speed of a body travel equal distance in equal time interval. I have already told you why you will get the straight line, because here the velocity, or you can say the speed, is equal in equal time interval. That's why you will get the straight line, or you can say the linear. Now you can see here, if you can determine the speed of body from distance time graph, what you will get from the, which type of informations you will get from the distance time graph. You can easily calculate the distance traveled by the particle in between two time interval, or origin to time, let's say time t1 or time t2. You will easily get the such type of information from the time distance graph. Okay. Now for the speed of a body between 2 points, let's say A and B, is s2 minus s1. Okay. The distance between 2 points is s2 minus s1 and time is t2 minus t1. Okay. Then how to write it graphically? You can see over here. This is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. Okay. This is your y-axis. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. So in x-axis you want to write the time, and on y-axis you want to write position. This is your position graph. So this will represent the distance traveled by the particle and this will represent the time. Okay. If this is the time, now you can see that the positions of particle A, initial positions is A, whereas the final positions of particle is B. The positions of A particle at time t1 is equal to 5 seconds, whereas the positions of particle at t2, or you can say that at positions B, you can see here 10 seconds. So corresponding to point A on the distance axis, you can see here 10 or here 20. This is 10 meter and this is the 20 meter. If you want to write S2 minus S, what you want to write? S2 minus S1. Let us say this is the S1. This is the S1 and this is the S2. So S2 minus S1 is how much? 20 minus 10, you will get 10 meter. Okay. And if you want to write T2 minus T1, if you want to write T2 minus T1, how much? T2 is 10 seconds and T1 is your 5 seconds. So this difference you will get 5 seconds. Okay. So now you will divide this, you will get the average velocity, or you can say that you will get the velocity, or you can say the speed. So V is S by T, or you can say that S2 minus S1 divided by T2 minus T1. Okay. So this is the 10 minus, I have already discussed with you, 10 minus 10 is equal to 10, 10 minus 5. If you will cancel out to each other, you will get the 2 meter per second answer. So this is the speed. Okay. So move to the next. The distance time graph for non-uniform motion. Till now we have discussed about the uniform motion. Now we are going to discuss the time distance graph, distance time graph of non-uniform motion. That means that in equal time interval, the change in velocity is unequal. So is non-linear. ये कैसा ग्राफ होगा बच्चों? Non-linear. It's not a straight line because here change is different in equal time interval. So you can you can say that the graph is non-linear. It may be parabolic. Okay, so you can, what is the parabolic? I will discuss here. I will see in graph. This is the because non-uniform speed of a body travel an equal distance in equal time interval. I have already discussed with you. So you will get parabolic graph. Now you can see here. Now this is the parabolic graph. Now you can see here at t equal to t1. Let us say this is the t1. This is the t1. Let us suppose this is the t1. This is your t1. Now you can see here. Now we have, this is the t1 and this is the t2. This is your t1 and suppose this is your t2. Okay, at t1 5 seconds, at t2 10 seconds, t3 15 seconds, t4 20 seconds. So you can see 5 units in each interval. The gap is 5 units. At t equal to t1, you can say that at 5 seconds the position is somewhere here. At t equal to 10, the position is somewhere here. At t equal to 15, the position is here. You can see here time interval is same, whereas the interval of distance is increasing. Initially it is very less, and in between this, finally it is increased by a bigger quantity or bigger unit. So you can say that the interval is same, whereas the changing in distance in each interval is different. So such type of graph will get the information, you will get the information from this graph that it will represent the non-uniform motion. Okay, this is the non-uniform. I think, hope it is clear to everyone. It is okay. Now move to, now you can see here one more thing. If you say that this is the theta, as time is going on, the graph of distance and time is shifting towards the y-axis, or towards the distance axis. So you can say that the acceleration of the particle is increasing. If the acceleration of particle is increasing because the distance is increasing now, so here the accelerated motion hai. Okay, it represents the positive accelerations. Got it? So now we have questions that is based on the distance time graph. Now you can see here you have already given the graph, the distance time graph. So based on that graph you need to calculate some questions. Now you can see here at the first part, which of three particle is traveling with the fastest speed. You are going to calculate the velocity, or you can say the speed of the particle, and you need to say which one has the highest speed. Okay, the first part is this. Now how to solve it? Now you can see here, because from the definition you know that the speed is the total distance covered by the particle and the total time taken by the particle. So you can calculate from that. But you can see over here the initial positions of A, initial positions of B and initial positions of C is different. So you need to take the two time interval. You may take at t equal to t1 0.8 and to t equal to t2 1.6, and you need to calculate the what? You need to calculate the this time difference of this time interval. This is the t2 and this is the t1, and you need to calculate the distance corresponding to 1.6 of each object, that means ABC, and corresponding to t1 the distance traveled by the each object, that means ABC, and you will get the total distance in between t2 minus t1, and you need to divide that, you will get the answer. This one is one method to solve these questions. Okay, now we have a very simple method. Now you can see over here, before solving these questions I am discussing with you the method. You can see here, this is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. Okay, this is your y-axis, this is your position, this is the positions or distance of particle. Okay, and this is the time axis. This is the time axis. Now you can see here, this is the graph that we have. Okay, now you want to calculate the speed. You know that the speed is nothing, it is the total distance by the total time. Now you can see here at t equal to t1 the positions of particle is this. This is your t1, and at t equal to t2 this is the positions of particle t2. Corresponding to this is the s1, or you can say that the corresponding to this is s2. Okay. Now if you want to calculate the, now you can write here, you can draw it, this is the perpendicular. Now if you want to write, this is, suppose this is A and this is B. Now if you want to see, if you want to write the value of BC, BC is nothing, it is the S2 minus S1. So you can write here this is S2 minus S1. Okay. And what is AC? AC is nothing, it is a difference of T2 minus T1. Okay. And this is the theta. Suppose this is the theta. Okay. If you want to write tan theta, if you want to write tan theta, then how to write tan theta? Tan theta is equal to perpendicular divided by base. And what is the value of perpendicular? You can see here, this is the perpendicular. So this is nothing, this is the equal to S2 minus S1, and B is T2 minus T1. It is clear? So this is the tan theta. And tan theta is also equal to the change in distance in between T2 minus T1. And from the definition, you know that velocity is also written as like that. So if you want to write this is the speed, let us suppose this is the speed. If this is the speed, so can you say that the speed, if you want to calculate the speed or velocity, you can directly calculate the tan theta. If you have the tan theta from the positions time graph, or you can say the distance time graph, you will get the speed or velocity. This is the very simple method. Just now I am discussing that method. That's why you will feel that there is some difficulty level, but actually this is the very simple. Now you can see here. Now you know that if this is the tan theta, this is also theta. This is also theta. This is theta. So this, if this is theta, and you know that the inclination of this line with x-axis is slope. This is the slope. That means you want to say that the slope of line will give the speed or velocity. Just you need to calculate the slope. Now see over here. Now see over here. If you extend this line backside, and if you want, you join this line. Now you can see here. You can see here which has the highest slope. Now you can see here. This is the B. This is B. This is C. And this is the A. As the slope of A is the highest, this is the theta. Suppose this is the theta 1, and this is the theta 2, and this is the theta 3. So you can say that theta 1 is the highest among these. Okay. If the theta is the highest among these, so you can say that the speed of body A is highest among A, B, C. So the answer of first part is simply by observing this graph. Now you have the knowledge, just you need to calculate the slope of the line. You will get the speed or velocity of that object. So you can observe from this graph, because you know that if this is the x-axis and this is your line, just you need to the inclination. Highest inclination will give the highest velocity. Now you can see here, B line is somewhere here, C line is here, and A line is here. So you can see here the inclination is decreased as the line goes down towards the x-axis. Okay, so you can see here the B has the highest slope. So you can say that the answer of first part is B. So which body has the highest speed? So answer of first part is body B. Body B has highest speed. Got it, everyone? This has highest speed. Now tell me the answer of second part. What is asking in the second part? Now you can see here, are all three ever at the same point on the road? ऐसा कोई पॉइंट है इस ग्राफ में जहां पर ये तीनों लाइन एक दूसरे को इंटरसेक्ट कर रहे हैं? नाउ यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, not a single point where three lines are intersect one another. Yes, this is the point where B and A is intersect to each other. This is the point where C and A is intersect point. There is no any single point here where the B, C, A are intersect to one another. So you can say that if this is not reflecting here, so the answer is no. Are all three ever at the same point on the road? No. So answer of second point is, you can write here no. Okay. Now you can see here the answer of third part. How far has C traveled when B passed to A? What is asking? When B is passing to A, then tell me that how far C has traveled. Now you can see from the graph where the B passes to A. Now see, this is line of B and this is the line of A. B passes to A here. Okay, this is the point where B passes to A. So corresponding to this point, tell me if this is the point corresponding to, you can say that it's almost near to 1.2. So corresponding to this time, tell me the distance traveled by the C. So you can see here somewhere here. This is the point of C. If you draw this line, you will get this line. Okay, so you can see over here, this is your, now you can see over here, wait a minute, you can see here, this is the point where you will get, because this is the point where the particle C has traveled when B passes to A. So tell me the distance corresponding to this point. This is the 8 kilometer. So the answer of C part is how much? The answer of C part is, now you can see here, answer of B part is no. Answer of B part is no. Whereas answer of C point, C traveled how much? C traveled how much? Tell me the answer. Answer is 8 kilometer. When B passes to A. When B passes to A. This is your answer. When B passes to A, then C has traveled 8 kilometer. Okay. So move to the fourth one. So what is asking the fourth part? How far has B traveled by the time it passes to C? How far has B traveled? When the time passes, it passes to C. Now you need to check when B passes to C. B passes to C somewhere here. This is your point. Now you can, corresponding to this point, you will get answer. Corresponding to this point, you will get answer. This is your answer. Now, because this point is lie in between 4 to 8, and you know that this length is 4 and this length is 8, and the small unit in between 0 to 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. So 4 unit represent the how much? 7. So you need to calculate here 4 part. How to calculate? Now you can see here 7 unit. Here 7 unit represent 4 kilometer. Okay. So tell me the 1 unit. Tell me the 1 unit. So you will get here 4 by 7. If you divide it, this is the 40. This will come 40. If you will divide 7 5 is 35, 50, 7 7 is 49, somewhere 0. So how much? 0.57 kilometer. Okay. So 1 unit represent 0.57 kilometer. So if you see here, almost 2 unit, almost 2 small unit above the 4. This is 1 or 2. So somewhere 2. So you can say that 2 small unit represent. So you can say here 2 small unit. 2 small unit So how much? 2 multiplied by 0.57, you will get 7 2 ja 14, 1 5 2 ja 10, 114. So this is 1.14 kilometer. So the answer is how much? 4 we have already add with 1.14, you will get 5.14 kilometer. So B has traveled 5.14 when it will passes to C by time. Got it everyone? Is it clear to everyone? So based on time graph, we have covered this type of questions. You will get such type of information from observing the graph. Okay, so move to the next point. So we have the graphical representations of velocity time graph. Similarly, if you want to draw or if you want to read how to draw the graph, how to read the graph, so you will get the information from the velocity time graph. So how to draw? Let us discuss in the similar way. Just you need to draw the velocity on y-axis and time on x-axis. So you can see here, change in the velocity of a body with time can be represented on the time velocity graph. In the graph, velocity is taken on y-axis and time is taken on x-axis. That we have already discussed with you. Now move to the next point, that is if a body moves with the uniform velocity. Now you can see here, if the body is moving with the uniform velocity, then the graph will be a straight line, because in equal time interval, the change in velocity is equal in equal time interval. That's why you will get the straight line that I have already discussed with you. This is because the velocity does not change with time. Sorry, because we are discussing about the velocity time graph now. We have this point we have covered in the position time graph. Because here you want to draw the graph of uniform velocity. Uniform velocity means constant velocity. So you can say that here the velocity does not change. So you will get a straight line. You will get a straight line that is parallel to x-axis. That is parallel to x-axis. So to determine the distance traveled by the body, suppose graph is given by velocity and time graph, and you are going to calculate the what? You are going to calculate the distance. Okay, then how to calculate the distance from the velocity time graph? Now you can see here, if you want to determine the distance traveled by the body in between point A to B with velocity 20 km/h. Now you can see here, this is the line, this is the graph, or you can say this is the straight line which is parallel to x-axis, and you are going to calculate the distance traveled by the particle when it will cover from point A to point B. Okay, now you can see here the velocity is 20 km. Velocity is 20 km. Then how you will get distance? Now you can see here, because you know that the V is equal to S by T. Here S is the distance. So if you want to calculate the distance, then you need to multiply the time with velocity. If you want to multiply the time with velocity when the particle is covering from point A to B, this is the 20, this is the 20 unit. Now you need to calculate this with the time. Now you can see here, to travel from A to B, the time taken by the particle is 15 minus 5, that is equal to how much? You can see here, that is equal to 10. So this is your speed and this is your time. Now if you look this A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, can you say that this is a which? This is the rectangle. Or if you want to write the area of rectangular, then you know that the area of rectangular is the multiplication of length and width. So this is the width and this is the length. And this is the speed and this is the time. If you are multiplying the speed with time, you will get the distance. So can you say that if you will get the area of line or area under this line, you will get the distance traveled by the particle? Yes. So we have an alternative. Whenever you need to calculate the distance, just you need to calculate the area under that line. You will get the distance, because you can see from here. So this V have the value of V is 20 kilometer. This is AC or equal to BD. This is AC or equal to BD, which is equal to the width of rectangle. Now this is the time, this is T2 minus T1, that is equal to DC, that is the length of rectangular. If you multiply, you will get the area of ABCD. This is the area of rectangular. So you will get the distance. That is equal to how much? That is equal to, you can say that 20 is multiplied with 15 minus 5. So this is the 10. So you can say that this is the 200. This is the 200 meter. Okay. So this is the information that this is in kilometer, because no, you can't multiply it directly. You can't multiply it directly because first you need to calculate velocity in meter per second, because it is given in 20 kilometer. If you want to write, just you need to change the 20 kilometer in meter per second, and then you will get the answer. This is the 20 kilometer. This is the 20 kilometer per hour. Okay. If you are multiplying with time, or this is in seconds, so how to multiply? First you need to calculate either second in hour or hour in second, or calculate kilometer in meter. You will get the answer. Okay. So no need to discuss here, because we are not going to here to calculate the value. I will calculate later when we will do the numerical. Okay. So move to the here. Now we have a point related to this. If a body whose velocity is increasing, with time, then you can say that the graph is a straight line having an increasing slope, or you can say that the accelerated velocity. Okay. So this is because the velocity is increases by the equal amount with the equal time interval. I have already discussed with you. Okay. Now you can see here. The body, this is the T1, the positions of A is here. This is the positions at T equal to T2, the positions of particle is here. So this is the theta. This is the theta. And the slope of velocity and time, what you will get? If you will divide, if you will get the slope, you will get the acceleration. So this represents the accelerations. Okay. The total distance traveled by a body between the point A to E is the area of ABCD under the velocity time graph. We have already discussed the area of rectangular will give the what? The distance. And the similar way, if you want to calculate the distance, just you need to calculate the area under that graph. Suppose if you want to calculate the distance traveled by the particle from point A to A, just you need to calculate the area this part. Just you need to calculate the area this part. Now you can see here. This area will give the distance. How to calculate? From bottom part, you can see here. This is the rectangle. This is the triangle. So just you need to calculate the area of rectangular and add with this the area of triangle. You will get the area of total BAEDC, and that will give the distance. Okay. I have already discussed with you. This area will give this, the area of rectangle ABCD plus area of triangle ADE will give the total area. So this is nothing. This is equal to AB plus BC. This is the area of rectangular, and half of AD and DE. This is the area of triangle. So if a body whose velocity is decreasing, now here what is happening here? Here the velocity of particle is decreasing with respect to time. So you can say that the graph is a straight line but having the decreasing slope, because velocity is decreasing with respect to time. So you can say that no doubt the graph is a straight line but having the slope negative, or you can say that the decreasing slope. So why this is happening? Because the velocity is decreasing by equal amount with equal time interval. That's why you will get the straight line, but the nature is the slope is negative. Now you can see over here the slope. Now you can see here, this is the greater than 90 degree. So here slope is negative. Okay, because as the time is going on, the velocity of particle is continuously decreasing. So if a body whose velocity is non-uniform, now we have the velocity that is non-uniform. If the velocity is non-uniform, then the graph shows the different variation. You will not get a particular pattern. Okay, you will get a different pattern if the velocity is non-uniform, because the velocity changes by an equal amount in equal time interval. The time is equal, but the change in velocity is unequal. So you will not get a fixed pattern in your graph. You will get some random type ka graph. Okay, now you can see here over here. Now you can see here the graph is random. In time interval is same, 5 unit, 5 unit, 5 unit, 5 unit. In this 5 unit, the velocity is increasing. In this 5 units, after some time, it will decrease. After some time, again it will increase. After some time, again it will decrease. So there is no any fixed pattern because this is non-uniform. Okay, non-uniform type का graph है ये.